Who's that YouTuber? It's me, Theo586, coming at you with another video today. I kind of want to take a little, do a little lesson on the history of Nintendo in this video. I want to say that I am a pretty big fan of Nintendo, and I pretty much grew up on Nintendo. There's actually two consoles that was before my time, apparently, that I realized, but never really got around to those. So let's just go ahead and dive right in and start talking a little bit about all the consoles since the beginning of Nintendo to what they have now. So the first first console that I see in around the year 1977, they had the color TV. This was before the NES. I don't know too much about this console. It was before my time, but that is apparently the first one that Nintendo has came up with. And then after that, actually, I wish I was able to get a hold of something like this, but the one after that was there was a Game Boy, which was for the Game and Watch. That was after uh, the color TV game that they released. That was the Game Boy was after that for the Game and Watch. It was specifically Game and Watch. And then after that, after the Game and Watch this was where I came in and realized, I am a big fan of Nintendo, which is what they released in or they launched in 1983 with the NES system. Nowadays they actually recently came out with the mini NES, but we'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, back in 1983 they launched the NES, which I do remember playing. I remember getting a lot of joy out of playing with that console. After that, in 1989, they have released the Game Boy. I remember a lot with the Game Boy playing in the car. I remember playing in the car late at night, trying to get light on my Game Boy, from the street lights and stuff like that. And I remember them coming up with like an adapter with the Game Boy where you can like make your screen look bigger, and had a little light on it. So that was like really big back in the day when Game Boy was out. And then right after the Game Boy in about 1991, the year 1991, was the Super NES, the SNES. So at first it was the NES, and then they came out with the SNES. I remember the SNES just as much as I remembered the NES playing. I think I actually played more SNES because I was a little bit older at the time, playing that console more than the NES. Then after that was actually one that I wish I still had. I remember getting this around, I think it was around Easter when I got it. It was called the Virtual Boy. And basically, from what I remember from the Virtual Boy, was that it was like, it had a stand. You look into it like it was kind of goggles, and you put it either on the floor or on the desk or whatever. You have a controller that attached to it. From what I remember, most of the games were all just like red outlines. I remember playing like a Mario Tennis with that one, and it was all kind of just red outline with Mario Tennis. Uh, I enjoyed playing that a lot, but to today's standards, it's definitely very old school gaming for today's standard. But it was really big at the time when I got it, and then after that came out with the N64. Now this was like, oh man, thinking of the controller for the N64, well, thinking of that controller nowadays, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, what were they thinking?" But I've always liked that controller. Although now that I honestly play it, as I'm a little middle, as I'm older, it does hurt my hand a bit more. But it was really fun playing with GoldenEye, Mario Kart. I played a lot of Mario Kart 64, and I actually played a lot of GoldenEye and some other games I remember playing for the N64. I actually recently my favorite game was Gauntlet Legends. Recently, I got the N64 to basically so I can play Gauntlet Legends again. I'm kind of stuck on Gauntlet Legends a little bit, but I want to make more progress in that game, and it's really fun, even to today's standards. Because if you play Gauntlet Legends, you're like, oh man, look at like the graphics. The graphics are so old school. I mean, like the bush, there's like the bush in Gauntlet Legend, you can see that there's like really no depth. It's just like one single image, really. It's like barely 3D and very pixelated, but that's what makes the game so great and it's even awesome to play to today's standards. Then around 1998, I remember it was the Game Boy Color. I remember when the Game Boy Color came out, they had all sorts of colors. I remember yellow. I believe there was a blue and a red one, I believe. So I remember, getting excited about the different colors for the Game Boy Color. Just different colors, kind of like just different colors for the Game Boy. And then after that was the Game Boy Advance. Now the Game Boy Advance, I don't remember that one too much. I remember having a friend who had the Game Boy Advance. I kind of remember owning one, but I don't think I held on to it for too long. That one was released in 2001, and kind of I don't know. I guess I remember it too, not too much, but I do remember having a friend who had Game Boy Advance and enjoyed playing it, and I played it a little bit. Then after that came out with the GameCube. And I recently, I got a GameCube recently. GameCube was awesome with Super Smash Brothers. I remember with GameCube, and having a lot of fun with GameCube with my friends, and playing a lot of games with the GameCube. So that is what came out later after the Game Boy Advance. Then after the GameCube came out with the Nintendo DS. I actually never got into the Nintendo DS as well. I pretty much jumped into the 3DS. I barely even noticed the Nintendo DS at the time. So yeah, I pretty much went into the 3DS, which was later. Then after that, I remember the Wii. The Wii came out in 2006. So the Wii came out after the Nintendo DS. I actually really liked the Wii quite a bit. I remember doing the bowling with the Wii, with the controller. It was very revolutionary. The thing with Nintendo compared to the other consoles is they're very daring with their ideas. They're like, okay, I have this idea that I want to do that's totally different than all the others, like Xbox or PlayStation, all the other consoles that are out there. So Nintendo is really good at coming up with new ideas. Not everyone likes the ideas, but then a lot of people do like them at the same time. I very much like the Wii. It did get me off the couch a bit, and kind of get more movement. With the sports game that it had, where you can swing the controller with the bat for baseball, and you can kind of, bowl with it and things like that. So I thought it was really good console. I actually still have a Wii. You can also play GameCube games on it. So I think it was one of the consoles that you could play another system's games on the Wii. Compared to all the other consoles that came out before, I believe that is one of the first consoles that you can play some other games. And then after that came out with the 3DS. So after the Wii was a Nintendo 3DS with the 3DS effect. However, I don't care too much about the 3DS effect, but I did get a couple of 3DSs at the time. That came out in 2011, and so for the 3DS, I still have a lot, few 3DSs, especially with Pokemon games. I love playing Pokemon games with the 3DS. That was always fun to play with that, with the Nintendo 3DS and other games as well, such as Luigi Mansion and other Mario games as well. Then after that came out with the Wii U. The Wii U, I still have the Wii U. I gotta admit, the game pad itself is very clunky. I still like it. I think it's a cool idea, with the touchpad and stuff. The biggest hit, and still pretty big today, is Super Mario Maker when that came out for the Wii U. I think people love Super Mario Maker so much because you can create your own level and you can have other people play their levels and you can edit your levels and things like that. So that means that the Wii U, I feel like if it wasn't for Super Mario Maker, I don't know how much people would care to own a Wii U, unless if like, I mean, it's cheaper now to buy if you can't get any of the newer consoles. So I would recommend buying that if you can. But if you can get anything, I would say get this Switch, which is what is out now. But the Wii U had a good run, but a lot of people didn't like it. So I mean, I think it's good for what it is, personally, but if you ask anyone else, they might disagree. Then after the Wii U, it came out with the console that we all know and love, which is the Switch. Now, the Switch, Nintendo Switch, is you can play it mobile. You can take it out of the dock system and play with the Joy Cons. You can put it in the dock and play it on your TV or computer, and it's got a lot of great games. Actually, like I keep wanting to buy more games. You can play even games like Fortnite today. You can play games. I'm pretty sure they're gonna come out with Super Mario Maker and and Animal Crossing eventually for it. Animal Crossing is actually more confirmed. Super Smash Brothers, I'm really looking forward to it. Zelda Breath of the Wild is a really good game to play on the Switch. You can also play Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, which I know some people have done that when they don't have the Switch and they don't want to really buy one. So, as of now in the year 2018, the Switch is the most recent console for Nintendo. Now, going back in history of all the other things that they came out, also thinking of what other things that they have, I want to mention that they came out with the mini NES and the mini SNES. So that has a bunch of classic games that you can play from the older systems. So I pretty much grew up on Nintendo, playing Nintendo games, and very much looking forward to what Nintendo has in store for us for the future. And Nintendo has always been my favorite company when it comes to gaming. I very much do like Xbox, and then at a distance, I enjoy PlayStation occasionally. Mainly for Spider-Man for PlayStation, and PlayStation has a couple exclusives, but we're not really talking about that right now. We're talking about Nintendo. So, anyways, But yeah, with the whole history of Nintendo, I think very impressive and very different compared to other companies. Now, if you all enjoyed this video, I would like to go over a little bit in depth of the history of Xbox and maybe PlayStation and some other things, and kind of can dive into history of a couple of the games. Just kind of, I want to spend a little time researching a couple of games and kind of just talking about the history of them, things like that. I'm very much enjoying doing this. I hope you all enjoy and get some useful information out of these videos. If you have anything that you'd like to add with these videos, please let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like the video, and if you want to see more videos, hit that subscribe button. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.